Hi and welcome back to the channel. If you remember last time we got the turntable running and I put in a new belt and I put in a new idler wheel. So what we learned last time is that the arm will lift up, go onto the platter, run through the tracks, and then at the end it's almost correct what it does. It drags out and then lifts up partway out. Which of course is not desirable. So I have spent the last couple of hours looking at this turntable from the inside and from the outside, and I've been able to conclude a few things that I hope are true, but I would also like your input if you have any, and if you've worked on these kinds of record players before. So yeah, I'm gonna show you what I've been looking at for the past few hours. So as we saw last time, you'll see the arm, I put some plastic on that so it doesn't scratch the rest of the record player, because I've put the weights and I put the tracking force way down so that it floats on its own, so it doesn't scratch the metal. So yeah, I'll press here and we will, I have taken off the belt just so I can do this by hand. You'll see the arm moves out, and you'll also see that it goes down here. This is looking good. We remember this from last time. What we remember from last time as well is that you can see this motion. If I put it here, it's going to want to float back a little bit. I believe that here in the middle there's a spring out in the arm mechanism that tries to send it back, but also here, where there shouldn't be a spring, it tries to move back on its own, which we're not interested in. But let's take a look at what happens when it's in the middle position and I spin the record. Now we should see it returning and docking back at the start. So let's see what happens. Good, something happens here. You see there, it almost looks like it's doing it properly. It looked as though it lifted up and went to the side. But I've been doing this for a couple of times now, and that is not always the case. A lot of the time, when it starts with, I'll just see if I can scoop it in there. Okay, it actually looks quite healthy right now, but I assure you that it will skate out before the lifting mechanism starts. Maybe it's because of the plastic I put out there that's making a bit of friction, but I don't think it's the actual cam mechanism that is dragging it out beforehand. I think it's something out in the arm. So let's do a rundown. Okay, so what I would like to show you now is a view from the top, what happens, and what I've seen from the bottom. I'll just press play now and I'll try to explain as best as I have understood what is happening, and we'll see that from the bottom as well. Okay, so I press play here and the white gear on the bottom engages with the smaller white gear that is driven by the platter. Now the arm has moved out, and we'll see that a metal arm that goes from the platter and out to the arm assembly is moves to one side, which results in the arm going down. Good. So that is the first part of the logic program, not actual logic, but what happens on the underside of the record player. And I'll also show you what happens when it reaches the end, which is then the middle. So much like we see, I'll just hold the arm in so that it doesn't skate out. We see, yeah, the arm goes up. So that piece of metal that moves out to the arm assembly is moved back so the arm lifts up, and then the arm is pulled out again until it reaches its resting position, where it then sits. And as you might have just heard, the motor spins down. So that's really all there is to it. The logic in the middle, to me, it seems healthy. But the arm assembly seems a bit unhealthy. So I would like to disassemble that, but I don't quite know how to do that. So I'd like your help for that. And also with the rest of the record player, because I might think that the logic is okay, but it might not actually be. So I would like your input on that. Okay. So as you saw, on the underside you saw the white gear, and you saw the metal shaft that goes out to the pickup arm assembly. And essentially what goes on out of the pickup arm assembly with the shaft is that it's not a totally straight shaft. It's tapered towards the end. So when it's pushed in, it pushes this disc where the arm rests, it pushes that up so that the arm is then lifted. And when the shaft is then pulled out, this disc is allowed to go down again, and the arm is allowed to go down. So, as I said, this arm, if I am to peel this plastic off, it doesn't like being out here. It wants to drift back to the resting position. I just need to get it without friction here. Like this. You see it drifting all the way back, and that drift should not be there. So I'm looking to get that out of this mechanism, and if any of you have some tips on disassembly of this, or whether it actually is this, I would be very thankful to hear it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So if you have some good advice, drop it down in the comment section. And thank you for watching.